that's really the most important thing for us is preparing for our next opponent. And we got a chance 24 hours to enjoy the victory against Ole Miss, but we're playing a really good opponent, well coached. They play hard. They're playing great defense, offensively. Very diversified, and it's going to be a great challenge on the road in the SEC. So, really our focus is our preparation this week to get ready for, a great rivalry. The last 4 games have been decided by 3 points or less, one way or the other. So we know what's in store for us as we head up to Fayetteville.
Hey, Coach Kelly, you mentioned Monday that Daniels and Hilton, a couple of receivers, might be back in the mix. Can you update them and any other health guys?
Yeah, I mean, Daniels practiced and looked good. So, I would say we're going to, probably list him as probable for Saturday. Chris was able to do some individual work. His is a day-to-day situation, so he's still questionable, but we're trending in the right direction there. In terms of, I think the rest are pretty static in terms of where we are from an injury standpoint.
Okay, you mentioned at the top that Arkansas is playing good defense. What is it you see from schemes and maybe personnel that has led to performances, say for Tennessee game and some others?
Well, I think they were able to control the run game with a 5-man front. And when you can do that, you can commit extra personnel to the passing game and play a lot more zone coverage, keep the ball in front of you. Very similar, scheme and philosophy from last year, but you can just see there's a lot more comfort in understanding what they're doing. There's a great buy-in. And as I said in my opening comments, this is a group that plays really hard. So coach has got them really playing, at a high level. And they obviously enjoy playing for them because you can see the extra effort in everything they're doing, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
After the win, people have talked about you guys as now, being, so you're ranked 8th in the polls, being a contender for the college football playoff, where maybe y'all weren't talked about in those terms for a while after the loss to USC. Is that something that y'all verbalize within the team, and that y'all, maybe it was a stated goal before the season, but now that you're in the season, is it something that y'all verbalize, or you just, like you said, focused on the very good opponent, from week to week and leave it at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Scott, you'd have to look at it from both perspectives, right? I mean, we were not even ranked in some polls when we had beaten South Carolina. We were talked about as being a team that didn't deserve to be ranked, and if the kids listened to that, then that they wouldn't continue to work hard and try to improve. And so the same is true as if you listen to what people talk about relative to you're going to the playoffs, then the same would happen, right? You're not going to put in the extra time and work. So we really stay away from all the chatter and really focus on what's most important. And the most important thing is how you prepare each week to put together your best performance. So this group has been down this road before. There's a lot of veteran guys. I know we're playing a lot of young guys, but there's enough leadership with the group that really leads them in the right direction. And that is the most important thing is how we prepare for Arkansas, not what people think about you, whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Koki Riley of The Advocate.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Koki.
We talked a little bit about the running game on Monday, and I was just sort of curious as to how do you coach timing when it comes to the run game? Because obviously it's more than just about toughness. A lot of it's just about, timing with the running backs, timing with the offensive line, timing with the tight ends. So how do you go about teaching that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question. I think you have to look at, what are you assigning, your preparation time for that. And the past few weeks, we have spent more preparation time, for inside internal 9-on-7 run because we have to get better at the timing elements. We have to get better at the run, recognition that is so crucial to our overall effective and efficient running game. So the answer is we're just spending more practice time on it because it's an area that needs to continue to improve.
And Braden Swinson yesterday talked about the 4th-and-1 play where he made that really great tackle behind the line of scrimmage. He said that he didn't really hear a play call on that play since Ole Miss really heard the line of scrimmage. Was there a play called in during that?
Yeah, that's situation? Pretty typical for Braden. He doesn't get many of the calls right, so that's that's pretty common. He's a pretty darn good player, but we sometimes have to worry about whether he gets the right play call.
Okay, so there was a call that was in on that play though. Just
yeah, if you remember, Koki, they didn't change personnel on that play, even though it was the goal line because they wanted to go fast. So that is a play that comes to our green dot, which is our communicator, and he's communicating it to the front. And there's a chance that the edge player, and in this instance, the defensive end, the edge player may not get the exact call, but he knows where to be and what his gap responsibility is in that situation. So the formation would dictate what his alignment and assignment is. But there are times where you just got to get your cleats in the ground and play smart football. And he did.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next, we'll go to Mike Griffith of AJC Dog Nation.
Coach, hello. I wanted to ask you about the rule changes and if there was any that jump out at you as maybe that have been the most challenging or had the most impact, whether it's the injury reports or the in-helmet radio, iPad usage, new transfer portal. I know you guys have a lot to manage as coaches. Which one of those rule changes kind of stands out to you this year as being impactful, most impactful?
I think, quite frankly, the technology piece has worked a lot smoother than I thought it would. And again, it's a first year thing, and I thought there would be a lot more fits and starts and communication errors and things going out. But I got to say, from my perspective, that's gone pretty smoothly. We're going to be dealing with the transfer portal here, in terms of it being a shortened window. So I haven't really felt that yet. That's kind of it. I mean, I think it's been, from a football season, it really hasn't been as impactful of a year relative to the particular rule change. I think it's the nuances, right? It's formations, things of that nature that you have to pay attention to. But the big picture ones have not affected what we do on a day-to-day.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Next, we'll go to Andrew Hutchison of the Best of Arkansas Sports.
Hey, Coach. I noticed on looking over y'all's stats, one thing that jumped out at me is y'all have only allowed 2 sacks through 6 games. I'm just curious, what has made y'all pass protection so good this year? And then how much does it also help having a veteran, older quarterback in Nussmeier? How much has that helped in that regard?
Well, I think it's a combination of 4 starters that have played 3 years together, 2 tackles that are potential first-round draft picks. Brad Davis does a great job, and I don't want to diminish the work that our offensive line coach does, but experience is a great thing to have when it comes to blitz pickup and pressures and working together as a unit. So that's number one. And number two, the quarterback understands how to protect himself. And when the quarterback has a good sense of how to protect himself, those things usually come to fruition.
And then also, I wanted to get your thoughts on Landon Jackson, Arkansas's defensive end. He doesn't have a ton of sacks this year, but it seems like he's playing really well. Just what have you seen on film from him?
I love his motor. I mean, the kid never stops. His second effort is as good as anybody's in the league. He just plays with an extra heartbeat. And as coaches, you love watching kids that play like that. And he's to be commended. I mean, he just plays so hard every single snap.
Coach, that's all your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.